Hi everybody, thanks to the screens that are up in this video but down now as you're watching me speak, I can talk to you at all 5 Masses and be sure that everybody hears the same message. And I'm happy to have this opportunity to share what I think is some very good news with you today. A year ago, I asked you to pledge to our Doors to Our Faith capital campaign. And throughout these past 12 months, we've been working on the plans for those improvements with the hopes of beginning the building this coming April. And I'm happy to announce that after careful listening to all of you about what you consider reasonable and important for the good of our parish and school, that our building committee and MSI General, the design build team that we hired, have now finalized the scope and cost of our project. And what you're about to see now is an animation of our new facilities. And I think that you will find what you're about to see shows that the building committee listened to all of us regarding the size and style. As we continued to talk about the project, of course, there was what is known in the building industry as project creep. I was accused of it immediately when I said, why don't we do this or why don't we do that? A little of this and a little of that gets added to the original plan. And I think we've kept that to a minimum, but I do just want to point out a few things that simply seem to make sense that we've added to what you saw a year ago. One of the things we noticed as a building committee was the need to polish, paint, refurbish, if you will, our bell tower, and probably replace the lights that illuminate it as well. You know, it only makes sense if you stand back on the parking lot and think of a new facade to make the entire exterior look good as we put that on. Another important feature that arose as we discussed this project and redesigned the parking lot a bit was the possibility of having sidewalks. Sidewalks that will come to the church from both Norhart Drive and from Calhoun Road. We feel that this will provide easier access to our facilities for those who choose to walk here, or for some of our children who ride their bikes here. A third item that we will include is the remodeling of the 2 restrooms next to the reconciliation rooms here in the church. And finally, we're going to carpet those hallways that run from the narthex to the crying rooms. Now remember that within the cost already quoted, that we plan to reupholster the pews and the kneelers and upgrade the carpeting in the church, and also to completely remodel the kitchen and the restrooms in the church hall. I'm happy to tell you that we expect to accomplish all of these additional improvements with the original campaign budget, and that's the really good news for us today as I speak to you. Project Creep did not include increased costs because of savings elsewhere in the design. And with that in mind, as you view these pictures, I'd like you to take note of some of the decisions we made since the last time we presented drawings and pictures to you to accomplish that design. First of all, we are not building out into the parking lot very much with the new entrance to the school because we chose instead to take over a classroom for the majority of the new school office. Since we want to open 2 all-day K-4 classes starting next year, we will build out the other side of our building toward Norhart Drive for one of those classrooms, and then we will use the current school office for the other. Since we can't afford to lose that classroom, really, that we're going to use, the space that is currently the youth room will now be turned back into a 5th grade classroom, which means that some of the youth activities that take place there now can be held in the current K-4 classroom across from the worship and liturgy office, and other activities can be held perhaps in the new narthex itself. On the south side of the building, right near the parish center, we're going to create a new secure passageway from the school into the lower level of the parish center where the children take their music classes. This is a security issue for all of us. Also, within the proposed budget, we will still restore our reserve account to at least $500,000 for future needs. So now, let's see what it's all going to look like. I hope you liked what you've just seen as much as I do, and that you're excited about the future with these wonderful facilities in place. Let me just say a big, big thank you to all of you who have made a gift to this campaign. We wouldn't be at the point we are now if it were not for you. Let me reassure you again that it was a wise decision on your part to pledge to this campaign, because it is truly an investment in our parish and its future success. And now that you've seen exactly what your money will be used for, perhaps those of you who did not pledge a year ago would like to do so this year. We'd be happy to accept a gift or a 3-year pledge from any of you. And maybe those of you who did pledge might like to join me in increasing your pledge. I'm so happy with what I see here that I added a few $100s to my pledge. And maybe you're in a position to do the same thing. The fact is that now is the time to make your contribution and help us over the threshold of the doors to our faith. Through your support, we currently have $2.7 million pledged, and the total for all the things that you've seen here, plus the refunding of our reserve account, come to $3.9 million. At this point, there's no doubt that we're going to move ahead in April with this project, as many of you have asked us to do. But I know that personally, I'd rather not borrow the money from the bank and then have a debt reduction campaign for $1 million sometimes later. In other words, being so close to our goal, my hope is that with your meaningful contribution, we can make up the difference in this second appeal. Again, please give this some prayerful consideration. I'm certainly aware that it is a sacrifice for you to contribute to this, and it is more of a sacrifice for some of you than others. But remember that your gift of any size is welcome, as long as it is a meaningful gift from you and your family. The process is simple. You've received a pledge card in the mail, along with information that I've just shared with you, but in brochure form. And you can return it for both your stewardship and capital appeal gifts in the procession that we have during Mass on Commitment Sunday in 2 weeks. God bless you all, and thanks for your continued generosity, which never ceases to amaze me here at St. John Vianney Parish.